Test 2.
Section 1, Listening Comprehension. In this section of the test, you will have an opportunity to demonstrate your ability to understand conversations and talks in English. There are 3 parts to this section, with special directions for each part. Answer all the questions on the basis of what is stated or implied by the speakers in this test. Part A, Directions. In Part A, you will hear short conversations between 2 people. After each conversation, you will hear a question about the conversation. The conversations and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Now we will begin Part A with the first conversation. Number 1.
I'm really exhausted, but I don't want to miss that documentary that comes on at 11.
If I were you, I'd skip it. We both have to get up early tomorrow, and anyway, I've heard it's not that exciting.
What does the man imply the woman should do? Number 2.
You've certainly been reading that one page for a long time now.
Well, I'm being tested on it tomorrow.
What does the woman imply? Number 3.
The storm last night damaged some of the neighbors' roofs.
I don't wonder.
What does the woman mean? Number 4.
The university bookstore opens at 9 in the morning.
Oh dear, I need a textbook for my 8 o'clock class today.
What does the woman mean? Number 6.
Sarah, did you have a chance to buy that new novel you wanted?
No, but I had Doris get it for me.
What does Sarah say about the novel? Number 7.
My parents are coming to see our apartment this weekend.
Looks like I'd better lend you my vacuum cleaner then.
What does the woman imply? Number 8.
Those packages took forever to arrive.
But they did arrive, didn't they?
What does the man say about the packages? Number 9.
My math assignment's due tomorrow morning, and I haven't even started it yet.
I'll miss you at the party tonight.
What does the woman imply? Number 10.
I need to find a new roommate.
So John's going to California after all.
What can be inferred from the conversation? Number 11.
Bill has only been on the job a week and already he's acting like he's the boss.
He's not going to last long with that attitude.
What does the woman imply? Number 12.
There's a great antique show at the Grant Auditorium. Let's go see it this evening.
I've worked really hard all day long. Won't it be there for a while?
What does the man imply? Number 13.
Would you like to come to Janet's surprise party tomorrow night?
I'm going to a concert tomorrow. I wish I could be in two places at once.
What does the man mean? Number 14.
You know, every time I talk to Mary, I get the feeling she's being critical of me.
Don't you think you're overreacting a bit?
What does the woman mean? Number 15.
Why did you come to the meeting late? I left a message with your roommate about the time change.
She has a very short memory, and it really gets on my nerves sometimes.
What does the woman imply? Part B. Directions. In this part of the test, you will hear longer conversations. After each conversation, you will hear several questions. The conversations and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Remember, you should not take notes or write on your test pages. Now we will begin Part B with the first conversation. Listen to a conversation between 2 students.
John, have you chosen a physical education class yet for this semester?
No, why?
You've got to take rock climbing. We just had the first class, and it looks like it's going to be great.
You think I should take rock climbing? You've got to be kidding. Besides, how can they teach rock climbing when it's completely flat around here?
That's not important. You can't just start climbing without any training. You have to get in shape, learn how to use the ropes, the belts, the buckles. There's a lot of preparation first.
You don't think it's just a little bit dangerous?
Not if you know how to use the safety equipment, which is, by the way, pretty high tech. The ropes are made of elastic fibers that stretch a little. The shoes have special grips on the bottom, and the helmets are made out of some kind of special plastic. You have to learn how to use all this before you do any real climbing.
Well, what's the appeal? We'll spend the whole semester studying something we don't actually get to do.
We will take a climbing trip during spring break, but that's not the point. Climbing isn't the only goal. In preparing to climb, you learn patience, mental discipline, and you gain fantastic physical strength, especially in your hands. For the first few weeks, we're going to concentrate entirely on hand and upper body exercises.
All that in one sport? Maybe you're right. Since it's not too late to join the class, maybe I will.
Number 16. What is the woman trying to do? Number 17. What does the man imply about rock climbing at their college? Number 18. Why is the woman interested in rock climbing? Number 19. What will the first few classes focus on? Listen to a conversation.
Hello.
Hi, Sally. This is Phil.
Great to hear from you, Phil. How have you been doing?
To tell you the truth, I'm very worried about our final examinations next month. For one thing, I can't sleep.
I sympathize. I went through the same thing last year.
That's exactly why I'm calling you. Do you have any suggestions for coping with anxiety? You know how I hate exams.
Well, last year the university offered a stress management course at about this time. Have you been in contact with the student health services?
No, I haven't had time.
Funny, isn't it? Just when students need help most, we can't afford the time to get it.
Well, perhaps I should find out more about this stress management course. Things have got to get better.
I suggest you call the health services tomorrow. They open at 9 a.m.
Thanks, Sally. I'll let you know how it goes.
Best of luck, and have a good night's sleep.
That's easier said than done.
Number 20. What is the main topic of the conversation? Number 21. Why is Phil worried? Number 22. Why does Phil turn to Sally for advice? Number 23. Why has Phil not contacted the student health services? Part C, Directions. In this part of the test, you will hear several short talks. After each talk, you will hear some questions. The talks and the questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Listen to a museum guide describe one of the new museum exhibits.
We've just seen 2 contemporary large birds that cannot fly, the emu and the ostrich. Over here is an interesting specimen from the past. This stuffed animal is not the giant penguin it appears to be, but an auk. This particular kind of auk is very rare. Only 78 skins are known to exist, and most are not preserved as well as this one. The great auk, as you can see, was a rather large bird, and it couldn't fly either. However, evidence suggests that the auk was an excellent swimmer and diver. Unfortunately, those abilities did not protect it from being easy prey for hungry sailors who years ago sailed the very cold and often icy waters of Greenland, Iceland, and Scotland. In fact, records indicate that the auk was rather tasty and that its eggs that its eggs and feathers were useful as well. Still, it isn't clear what other factors led to the big bird's demise around 1844, the last time anyone reported seeing one. Of course, we believe it's important to take extra precautions to preserve the remaining great auk skins. After all, these specimens should prove invaluable for future scientific research. Does anyone have any questions before we move on to our next bird exhibit?
Number 24. What is the talk mainly about? Number 25. Why was it easy to capture auks? Number 26. Why did the sailors hunt the auk? Number 27. Where did the auk live? Listen to a presentation being given in a geology class.
I'd like to begin by thanking Dr. Kane for inviting me to be here today. Although I'm not a geologist, I have been collecting minerals for years. My collection is really diverse because I've traveled all over the world to find them. Today, I've brought a few specimens for you to see. After I discuss each one, I'll pass it around so that you can look at it more closely. As you know, feldspars are the most abundant minerals and are divided into a number of types. These first samples are orthoclases. Notice that they vary in color from white to pink to red. This glassy one is found in volcanic rock. In fact, I found it in New Mexico on a collecting trip. This next sample that I'll pass around is a microcline mineral, also called Amazon stone. You can identify it by its bright green color. It's often used in jewelry and really is quite attractive. These final samples are all plagioclase feldspars. Many plagioclases are very rare, so I'm particularly proud of the variety in my collection. I've also brought a few slides of some larger mineral samples, and if you'll turn out the lights now, I'd like to show them to you.
Number 28. What are the students doing as they listen to the speaker? Number 29. How did the speaker acquire all her minerals? Number 30. Why is the speaker proud of her plagioclase feldspars?